Hello everyone, I'm Sarah Holderness, and this is Practical Python for Beginners, where we're going to learn Python by applying it to many different examples. In this module, we're going to jump into Python with data types and input and output. You've made a wise decision to learn Python, and among the many reasons you might have decided Python is that it's versatile. You can use Python for a wide variety of applications like data science, machine learning, web development, and more. There's also a strong Python community, which means there's a package for pretty much anything, so there's no need to reinvent the wheel. And it's easy to learn. It's written similar to English or a spoken language, and it's concise, and it's an interpreted language, so it doesn't need to be compiled first and then run. At the end of this module, we're going to create a simple program that calculates how old you are in decades. Believe it or not, this simple program has a lot of little pieces that we need to understand. How to get input from the user, how to save the input to a variable, how to do simple math calculations, how to convert numbers to text, and how to print the result to the screen. By the end of this module, you'll see how to do all of these things to create our age calculator. We'll start by saving numbers to variables and doing simple math calculations in this video. And you can follow along if you want in your own Python interpreter, or wait until the next video to install Python. There are two ways we can write Python code. First, in the Python interpreter or shell, you can see the 3 carets and we can enter in lines of Python and immediately see the result. We can also use the interpreter to assign values to variables. For instance, let's calculate the area of a rectangle. First, we'll create a variable length by assigning a value to it, let's say 10 feet. When we create a variable, a piece of memory on your computer is created for it. Now there is a piece of memory labeled length that currently stores the value 10. From the interpreter, we can enter the name of the variable length to see its value and see that 10 is output to the screen. Let's also add the width of the rectangle. Now we have another variable stored in memory. Now we can calculate the area as length times width, where the multiplication operator is an asterisk. Most of the arithmetic operators are the same in Python as you may have seen on a calculator for plus, minus, multiply, and divide. And now we have another variable stored in memory, and we can see its value is the result of length times width, which is 10 times 20, which is 200. If we enter the variable area into the interpreter, it will output the value of area, which is 200, like we just said. Now we've seen our first Python data type, integers, or int for short. In some programming languages, you define what type the variable is, but Python infers the type. Since amount is set to a whole number, Python makes the type of amount an int. If we instead set amount to a decimal value, then Python would make type of amount a float. Floats are the other numerical data type we will use, which are short for floating point numbers or decimals. In the next 2 videos, let's see how to install Python and a code editor first, and then we'll demo how to create a tax calculator program.